Now officially the fall season, and as I told you earlier, we're talking about temperatures that were in the cooler part of September, the early half of September, and then warmer the second half of September, and that led to, again, temperatures to be a bit below average. Again, the average temperature should be 82, average low 65.7. We were a mean of 73.8, but that's 2.3 degrees below average. And rainfall, of course, we're in a drought. Again, 2.2 inches of rainfall. That's all we have. We should have about 4.5 inches. Well, why is this happening? Well, you know about El Nino and La Nina. We talk about that as a weather pattern, the ocean temperatures of the Pacific. What about neutral El Nino or El Nino, or what I call La Nada? So that's kind of what we've been in. That's brought, again, milder temperatures pretty much across the southern Florida area and cooler than normal here in the Northeast. And we saw that in September. And, of course, a neutral La Nina means pretty much the moisture gets kind of shunned down to the south. And that pretty much happened. Moving forward in the fall, we're going to be talking about more of a transition to La Nina. So that northern jet stream becomes much more active, which means that we'll see the potential for warmer than normal weather to the south, even up into our part of the country, and wetter than average normal conditions off to our west. So we'll probably be just about what we've been seeing here. Now, the forecast from the Weather Service showing, again, much of the country above average as we go through the next couple of months. So fall looks to be a mild fall. I think that trend's going to continue. Certainly this next forecast in the next week, we're going to stay on the mild side. And we're probably going to be a bit on the drier side, too, as we talk about dry conditions continuing. Again, you're in a drought. When you have a drought, you forecast a drought. So that's likely going to continue. What about leaf colors? Well, again, we've had a dry stretch of weather here, so that tends to delay the colors a little bit. Also, maybe make them not as vibrant, whereas a wet forecast has been producing on-time foliage. But we'll also have to look at temperatures, and we've had a warmer than average overall period here in the last couple of weeks. So that might bring the colors on quicker, maybe not quite as vibrant as we go through our fall foliage look versus those cooler, crisp nights that bring on the real bright color in the forecast. All right, how about the next 3 months? Well, October has an average of about 64 degrees or so for the high, an average low about 51. It cools down to an average of about 54 in November for the high, an average low about 42. And then December, we have an average high of 44 with an average low of 33.8 degrees, so definitely cooler. And then my early call for our winter forecast, well, it looks like a weak La Nina. That's going to make it tougher to forecast the effects of a La Nina, but certainly I think going to be a milder than average weather with a colder first part of the winter. Certainly I think we'll have more snow than recent years, probably a little closer to average, so something to think about there.